Buonasera ragazze e ragazzi, bentrovati. Vi do un caloroso benvenuto, a questo primo appuntamento, su Canale Digitale. Uhm, Questo primo appuntamento, di didattica a distanza, nella speranza di, poter tornare, prima possibile alla normalità. Bene, allora, in questa, lezione, questa video lezione, faccio riferimento al, materiale che ho pubblicato oggi per voi nella sezione didattica del registro elettronico e, che riguarda il nuovo argomento, e cioè il Regno Unito. Quindi, questo video vuole essere un ulteriore supporto per voi, è un'aggiunta a quello che è il testo, che ho, scritto e che ho caricato per voi, su file. Okay, quindi, in questo video, vi parlerò del Regno Unito, dell'aspetto, geografico, e territoriale. Poi, vi parlerò anche delle, attrazioni, turistiche e vi parlerò, della storia. Quindi faremo un percorso, storico di quelli che sono i maggiori avvenimenti, gli eventi che, hanno in qualche modo caratterizzato la storia, dell'Inghilterra. Okay, so, let's start. The United Kingdom. The United Kingdom consists of, 4 countries, and these are England, in the south, Scotland in the north, and, Wales, in the west. These 3 countries, form, the so-called Great Britain. We need another country, which is Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is, on the left, and it is part, of a bigger island, which also includes the Republic, of Ireland. The Republic of Ireland is not, part, of, the UK. So, the UK, which is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, consists of only 4 countries. It is also part of an archipelago, which means a collection of islands, 136 islands, if I'm not mistaken. And it has a population of 66 million inhabitants. Okay, let's move on and talk about the next aspect, which is the flag of the United Kingdom. Now, do you know the name of the flag of the United Kingdom? And what does it consist of? How many countries are represented in the flag of the United Kingdom? Okay, the name of the flag is the Union Jack or Union flag, and it is made up of 3 flags, and each one of these represents respectively England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. So 3 flags, the combination of 3 flags, um, form the Union Jack. Okay, let's look at each one of these flags and what they represent. So the flag of England has the cross of St. George, which is the patron saint of England. Then we have the flag of Scotland in blue with this white cross, which is the cross of St. Andrew, the patron saint of Scotland. And then, thirdly, the flag of Northern Ireland, which features the cross of St. Patrick, which is the patron saint of Ireland. So this image renders the idea of the union of the three flags forming one unified transnational flag, which is the Union Jack. Now, why does not the Union Jack include the Welsh flag? Do you know what the Welsh flag looks like? It looks like a Welsh dragon. And this Welsh dragon, in fact, does not appear on the flag because when the first Union flag was created in 1606, Wales was already united with England from the 13th century. So this means that Wales was not a kingdom but a principality, and as such could not be included. Because of some important events, the United Kingdom has not always had a peaceful coexistence. So the United Kingdom is the result of the process of unification of three different kingdoms throughout history. This unification has been put to test by a series of events, such as the Irish Troubles in the 1980s, the Scottish independence referendum in 2012, and the Brexit referendum in 2016. So the United Kingdom has had a troubled coexistence throughout history, and this troubled coexistence have also somewhat compromised the sense of national identity, which means being British and Britishness are at the center of everlasting debates. Being united from a geographical point of view does not always necessarily mean that the average UK citizen identifies himself or herself as being British. Uh, since the population of the UK includes English, Scottish, Welsh, Irish, as well as different ethnic minorities migrated from the so-called ex-colonies of the former British Empire, it has emerged that the minorities, when interviewed, show a different attitude towards Britishness. The majority of them are in favor and as a consequence, diametrically opposed to what the so-called native population, which means the English, the Scottish, the Welsh, and the Irish, claim to be their own and only identity, being English, Scottish, Welsh, or Irish. Of course, opinions and ideas may vary according to age and social background of the people interviewed. For example, young people, especially teenagers, seems to appreciate the fact that being British makes them feel as part of the bigger community. So they sense a feel of integration rather than separatism. To give you an idea of what is at stake here, just try to answer the question for yourself. What identity suits you best? Do you feel more Italian or do you feel more European? It is not easy to identify oneself plainly with one or the other. It very much depends on different factors, mainly linked to one person's roots, culture, customs, tradition, and sense of belonging. Now, in this part of the lesson, I'm going to show you a video which I have taken from YouTube. And this video is about Britishness. So in this video, you will be shown people being interviewed in the street, and answering the question, what does Britishness mean to you? Okay, so I want you to look at the video at the end. But initially, I would like to show you some pictures which I have uploaded here. And this picture um, are the symbols of what Britishness means today. So, for example, picture number one shows typical specialty, typical English specialty, which is fish and chips. Then the second picture shows a pub, which is a very typical venue for English, Scottish, Welsh, and Irish, where they meet with friends after work or at the weekend, and they enjoy themselves drinking beer and watching, for example, football. The third picture is quite peculiar because it is about a dish which is called chicken tikka masala. Now, what does it represent? So, chicken tikka masala has emerged to be a typical British dish uh, instead of fish and chips. So, chicken tikka masala is typical of Britishness. In the fourth picture, there is a man wearing a Scottish costume and playing Scottish typical instrument, which is the bagpipes. And this picture also represents a very strong sense of nationality, the so-called Scottish nationality. Then let's skip to the picture on the left, which reads multiculturalism in the UK. So this picture shows a woman wearing a typical dress from Arabian or South Eastern Asian countries. A typical dress which is called the hijab, if I'm not mistaken. And the strange thing is that this typical dress um, represents the Union Jack, so the color of Great Britain. The slogan reads British, so she says, I am British. Second, I am Muslim, and proud. So she says, I am proud of this. This is quite a particular picture, which represents the concept of Britishness today. Um the last picture I want you to focus on is the picture which shows Queen Elizabeth II, who is the Queen of Great Britain, the British monarch, and has a very important and institutional role representing Great Britain in the world. Well, personally, I think that the Queen is an example of how all these elements can be put together and can be part of the so-called Britishness. So Britishness is a mixture of all these typical elements, and not just the result of one single identity. Now, let's talk about the United Kingdom as a major tourist attraction. Now, there are 37 million tourists visiting the UK every year, which makes the nation one of the most visited places in the world. What contributes to bring so many tourists to visit the UK? With its monuments, museums, art galleries, churches, castles, archaeological sites, and festivals, the UK has a vast cultural heritage to offer. The UK has always played a fundamental role in history, characterized by wars, invasions, and its former empire, which during the reign of Queen Victoria from 1837 to 1901 spread out over one quarter of the globe. London is its capital city and also the symbol of multicultural Britain, with over 300 languages spoken at home. Other urban centres of great interest include the towns of Bath, Brighton, Oxford, Edinburgh, Liverpool, and York. So tourists visit the UK for many reasons, because the nation features a variety of landscapes, from mountains and countryside to sandy beaches and forests, as well as rivers and lakes, and people can choose their holiday accordingly. So they have a wide range of choice, and they can choose their holiday according to the landscape that United Kingdom offers them. There are excellent facilities which cater especially for families, and the UK also boasts a good transport system which allows tourists to get around easily. Just imagine when people go to such a big city as London, and they can get around very easily by the underground, the so-called tube, or buses and the railway network. Well, at this point, we are going to make a tour across British history, and we're going to point out the main events and the main epochs which have characterized the British history. So I'd like to start from the Neolithic period and Stonehenge. Stonehenge is dating back more than 5,000 years. Um, let's skip to the period between 43 BC to 410 AD, when the Romans conquered Britain, and traces of the Roman Empire are still present today in cities such as Chester, which is the anglicized version of the Latin name castrum, which means camp or castle, and other towns such as Bath, which is still famous for its natural spring of hot waters or baths of Roman origin. In the 8th to the 11th century, the Vikings invaded England in 793 AD. The town of York is famous for its Viking archaeological site. During the 11th up to the 15th century, in the year 1066, after the Battle of Hastings, the Normans, led by William I the Conqueror, invaded England, and French became the official language of the country. So it was the first time that England was ruled by a foreign king, a French king, and the French language officially became the language of the country, of the aristocracy mainly, because the common people would continue using their own language. The Normans also contributed to Britain's historical heritage in that they built numerous castles and churches, including parts of Canterbury Cathedral. From the 16th to the 17th century, during the reign of Elizabeth I, also called the Golden Age, great importance was given to the theatre with its dramas and plays. A prominent figure of those years was William Shakespeare, who gave great contribution to the English language and literature, and who is widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's greatest dramatist. His birthplace, his school, and his wife Anne Hathaway's cottage are located in Stratford upon Avon, which attract 2.5 million visitors annually. In the 18th and 19th century, the iron bridge across the River Severn in Shropshire was the first iron bridge ever built, and it is now considered as one of the great symbols of the Industrial Revolutions. In the period from the 19th to the 20th century, Balmoral Castle in Scotland was built at the time of Queen Victoria and is still used today by the royal family. It is a major tourist attraction for those who want to explore the historic ballroom and experience the royal atmosphere walking around the marvelous estate. Okay, so that would be all for today's lesson. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.